Welcome in to the victorious Locked On Packers squad show. My name is Brandon Snide. It wasn't pretty, but a win is a win, right?
I'm Peter Bukowski, host of Locked On Packers. The Brewers going to the end. Oh, no, we're doing a different show. Jordan Love in complete control, doing enough for the Green Bay Packers.
This is Coach Jags. I tell you, coming off of a bye week, it's a get-right week. It's a get-right game, and the Packers did it today.
Go, Pack, go! It's the Packers Squad. Everything Green Bay Packers every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from Titletown. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. From the frozen tundra with all the cheeseheads, the Packers Squad show starts now.
You are Locked On Packers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Follow the podcast on Twitter, Locked On Packers. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to the podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever you guys find podcasts, you will certainly find the Locked On Packers podcast, the number one Packers podcast on the internet. And for the fans who know what happened, they want to know why and how. As always, thanks to everyone who makes Locked On Packers their first listen each and every day. This episode is brought to you by Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for tonight's highlight in this week's Moving the Game Forward. Mazda, move and be moved. The Packers, you guys, beating the Bengals today, 27-18, improved to 3-1-1 on their season. Coming up throughout the course of the postgame show today, we'll dive into Coach's classroom. We'll get a beat on what he saw from the Pack. Are you worried about this defense? I'm raising my hand because I certainly am a little bit. In another game, another turnover-less performance. That's why you should be worried. And as always, we'll hand out our game balls later on. But let's begin with the good news today for the Pack, the victory. Coach, it wasn't pretty. You don't get extra style points in the NFL, right, as you've told me over and over again.
Yep.
You have said it. Just win and move on. And certainly that's what the Packers did today. What are your initial thoughts, Coach, and reactions for the 27-18 victory?
Well, again, you just said as far as like winning the game, that's the main thing. You know, a lot of people go, we're going to blow these teams out and all that. And, you know, we talk about it every week. Those guys get paid too. Those coaches get paid. They prepare, spend a lot of hours. Those the players, same thing. I thought that the Packers offense was very, very good today. I mean, we got the ball to Golden finally down the field. Jacobs got the run game going finally. And, like Jordan's keeping plays alive with his legs, which I thought was really, really big. Not very often, but he doesn't have to do more than that, what he did today, you know, just to keep the chains moving or keep the drives alive. And I think that's what he did. He did a really, really good job with that.
Peter, I know you just got done yelling through the microphone, maybe not yelling, but talking after the victory.
I did less
today.
Yelling than you did this weekend.
We should. Yeah, I certainly did a lot of celebrating last night, late night for yours truly. We had a lot of thoughts in the group chat. We had a lot of thoughts on social media. What did you take away from today's victory?
You know, this was a game that I thought Brian Gutekunst said in the offseason, right, guys, that he wanted Jordan Love to control the game more, to just be in command, the way that we've seen Aaron Rodgers and you know, for those of us old enough to remember Brett Favre as well. Everyone on this call currently is, but not everyone listening is. Go back and watch those highlights. But this was a game where he was in complete control. I thought from start to finish really was in command of the game. The 3rd and 2 is such a great example of this, guys. They call a little boot play, a little fast to the flat, coach. And the Bengals did a really good job of defended that really well, covering that up. And Love is like, I'm going to run. And then he realizes, I can't race to the edge. He cuts back inside. Then there's a guy waiting for him. And he kind of wriggles his way and picks up the yardage. Those are the plays he couldn't make last year because of the lower body injuries. He made those plays in this game. They played, you know, when they played man coverage, he was looking to escape the pocket and create something. And the 3rd and 10, I mean, guys, it was going to be tight sphincters at Lambeau Field if they don't get that 3rd and 10. He rolls to his left with pressure in his face and throws a dot to Matthew Golden along the sideline that essentially seals the game. Those are the plays. For as much as he gets clowned for some of the game-ending, you know, turnovers and that stuff, you have to give the credit where credit is due. Matt LaFleur, the exact phrase I am quoting, he played his ass off for us. And I think that is exactly right. And that is the version of Jordan Love that to me, they can beat anybody when Jordan Love plays like this, minus the one brain fart, coach. Like it's just one Like it's one play he's got that Favre in him where it's like, okay, he's going to make that one boneheaded play in the first half, and then the rest of the game he's locked in.
But that was tipped though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it was tipped.
Should have thrown it away.
Should have thrown it away. I thought.
Yeah. No, you're right. He should have.
I don't want to. You talked about credit, Peter. We're giving credit where credit's due. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back here because on my extra points on Thursday or Wednesday, whenever we had our midweek show, I said this is the week you got to get Matthew Golden. You got to get him going. You got to scheme him up. You got to be the focal point for the offense. It certainly felt early on. I know he only had 3 receptions, but he led the Packers in receiving yards with 86. He's still looking for that first career touchdown. He didn't get that today. Came close, but had some big moments. You talked about it on that third down late in that fourth quarter. He breaks off his route early. He sees Jordan Love in a little bit of trouble. It's like a veteran savvy move for that kid. And he just is nails. I mean, his hands are as good as they get. But I do want to talk to you, Coach, about Matt LaFleur. And maybe you can calm me down. Maybe you can ease some worries amongst Packer fans. When you look at this game, and if you want, Coach, you can look at the Browns game. You can look at the Cowboys game the last weeks for the Packers. Matt LaFleur now 4-3 following bye weeks in Green Bay. What do you see when you see Matt LaFleur? Because you remember after the Cowboy game, I lost my mind because I said, let Jordan Love cook. Let him go. Let him do it. And today was not a lot, I mean, it was better, I'll say, for Matt LaFleur for Jordan Love, but I still want to see put more on the shoulders of number 10. Overall, paint a picture on what you see from Matt LaFleur, his game plans, his play calling, kind of paint everything for me when it comes to Matt LaFleur, because I'm not feeling great, Coach. I'm not feeling great.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, again, on the first drive of the game, your openers, I mean, you're calling them right off of your sheet, and then you have to adjust to that. I think he's a good play caller, Brandon. I really do. I mean, just look at the numbers, though. We had close to 500 2 weeks ago. Tonight we had over 409 yards or whatever. The guy, that's productive. That's very productive. The thing that I don't know, like his mentality on the sideline. Some guys are big yeller screamers. Guys, obviously he's not a Bill Parcells guy at all, right?
I don't know if you're allowed to be those guys anymore, Coach. But yes,
you know what? You're probably right, because the players are different now. The players are different, but. I think he does a good job. I think he surrounded himself with some pretty good coaches, particularly on the offensive side of the ball.
Peter, when it comes to this defense, this is another worry you can help me with today. They haven't forced a punt in the last 2 weeks, the 2 weeks that they've played against the Cowboys, obviously going back to that tie, and then today against the Cincinnati Bengals. It's like the tale of two teams, right? Like they didn't force a punt in the second half of that Cowboy game, didn't force a punt today. Cincinnati marched up and down the field, had a drive of 10-14 to kick things off in that third quarter. I know they started off great. I know there was a lot of talk when you get Micah Parsons and you have the players that you already have. We saw a lot from Edge Coop. You guys know I'm a Coop guy. Any concerns with this defense? Today wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. You allowed Cincinnati to stay in that game and climb back in with some long extended drives. Any concern with this Packers defense after today?
I think there is some concern. And Matt LaFleur echoed it after the game. He was asked about, not forcing any punts in the second half. And he said, that's absolutely a concern for the Packers. I think you also have to I'm going to sound a little lame here again, because I thought Dak Prescott in that game, after watching it back and then watching it back again, he just saw God for 2 quarters. Like he made every single play. And I was just sort of like, well, I can't really blame the defense for that. And then on Sunday, Jamar Chase is covered the whole game, and it doesn't matter because he's just Jamar Chase. And T. Higgins covered the whole game. Really, one play was really the only one where he got loose in zone coverage. These are all throws into coverage, and those guys they're just better than most corners. Really, I mean, that's why Joe Burrow had almost 5,000 yards last year and 30 touchdowns and all that stuff. Those guys are incredible. I mean, the touchdown at the end, guys, like that's an amazing play by Jamar Chase. There are probably fewer than 5 receivers in the NFL where they would make that play and you go, yeah, that's just that guy. Anyone else, you just go, holy crap, what did they just do? The problem here is, well, AJ Brown can do that. Puka Nacua can do that. Mike Evans can do that. There are teams in the NFC playoff picture that have receivers capable of doing that. And so this is why, to your point, Brandon, the turnover mantra. I mean, Coach, we talked about this. You get what you put in, right? You get what you emphasize. emphasized turnovers all through training camp, and they have just not been able to create them.
You're
You're going to give up drives. Like I know it's Joe Flacco, but like with Chase and Higgins, that was death by 1,000 paper cuts on that 10-minute drive. Like they didn't get any explosives on that drive. No. But if you're going to let teams dink and dunk you all the way down the field, that's fine. You have to be able to create some negatives then too. And they just haven't done that enough. Micah Parsons is going to have 7 or 8, 9 pressures again in this game, but didn't have the sack fumble that changes it. Those are the plays he was brought here to make. Xavier McKinney, an all-pro, those plays to bait someone into throwing something to you, those are the plays that those guys get paid for, and we need to see more of them.
Yeah, I don't think I'm sure they still emphasize it, but still have to do it.
Oh, for sure.
They have to, right? I mean, that's just part of their DNA.
They didn't just stop practicing it, I'm sure.
No. And I tell you, just the beginning, like just look at the first half, that looked like what I thought Flacco would look like. Yeah. And that whole offense. And
he still averaged less than 5 yards an attempt, guys. Like we can't act like he was, God's gift here.
I mean, he was bailed out a handful of times from T. Higgins and, like you mentioned, Jamar Chase on 3rd and 5s, 4th and 5, and he's kind of heaving it up there. The Packers brought the house late in that 4th quarter, and he just tossed
Carrington
it up.
Valentine also had an opportunity late.
Oh goodness,
that was a ball that was so bad it surprised him, because it could have been. I mean, really. Guys, it could have been a house call. I don't want to be too hyperbolic, but like it could have been that. It's certainly, he had a good chance at an interception, and the ball was just worse than he thought it was going to be. And he just ended up batting it down. He thought he was going to have to make a 50-50 ball with Jamar Chase, meet him at the summit, and he didn't. And so the Bengals really got lucky on that one. The Packers have not had a game where their luck has all gone their way yet. And that game is probably coming, and they will blow out a team like the Cardinals or someone. Maybe the Steelers, God willing. That's
another win today for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Looked pretty good against a team the Packers lost to a few weeks ago. Coach, you said Joe Flacco looked as good as you thought he would in that first half. I think most Packer fans will agree with you. What did you see in that second half for that offense, and then on the other side for that Packers defense?
I mean, they started making some plays in the short throws. I mean, and just dinking and dunking. How many times did he throw the ball over 10 yards today?
We could probably count on one hand, maybe a couple times. I know he had the touchdown to Chase, which was on a 4th and 5. I know he had another. Yeah, I mean, the tight end for Cincinnati, his name is escaping me, had a handful of drops, or else it would have been a few more.
Yeah, he's a slot receiver, but he looks kind of like a tight end. Andre Yoshivas, but they didn't like nothing down the field. I mean, it was probably only, his average depth of target was 6. Jordan Love's was 9.5.
See, but let me ask you this though. And Peter, you can answer this for me. When you see that, and my future head coach, Jeff Hafley, sees that, and he's like, dude, these guys are not beating us deep. Like they can't protect Joe Flacco for that long. Like we why aren't we putting a little bit more pressure into the box or at least these receivers? Why are we giving them 6 to 7 yards? Why does it feel like if there's a quick slant or if there's a quick hitch, it's open, and the Packers defense almost looking like they just want to keep everything in front of them? It was still, I mean, the Packers had it in control. I know it was a 1-score game, but it felt like it was in control. But it's like, man, I want to see an aggressive style of defense from Hafley, from the Packers defense. And it feels like they were giving them those 6 or 7 yards. And if that's the only way that they're moving the ball on you, why don't you try to stop it?
The thing is, in the second half especially, they started bringing pressure. They started bringing 6-7 man pressure looks, and it didn't matter. Flacco was just beating it by just giving Chase and Higgins opportunities down the field. And then it is man coverage, and they played some press man, and it just didn't matter. I mean, look, T. Higgins is 6'4", 215 pounds. He's going up against Carrington Valentine, who's 6'1", 185 pounds. Like, who's going to win those matchups? It's going to be T. Higgins more often than not. Keyshawn Nixon is 5'10". Now he's 5'10", 215. He's
second in the NFL in PBUs, though, baby.
He is, and he had a couple more in this game.
He did.
If he was playing any receiver not named Jamar Chase, he probably would have had 3 or 4 in this game. But he wasn't. He was playing Jamar Chase, and Chase is going to make those plays. So, again, like I said, I do think there is concern with this defense at times. I want to see more from your guy, Adrian Cooper, Brandon. Like, I want to see him impact the game a little bit more. I was disheartened in the second half, more than the plays to Chase and Higgins, because those, I knew that was going to happen. I thought they let this bad, I mean, dog, team run the ball on them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not just Chase Brown, but Samaje Perine, it was not the run defense I was expecting. The final numbers are going to say that it was pretty okay.
Well, there was one where it was 2nd and 10 and they get 9.
And they get 9 because they just push and push and push and push. And that was on the 10-minute drive.
Yep.
That was the drive where, like, if they needed to get, 3 or 4 yards, they were able to get it. And it just, like, that was the frustrating part, I think, at times when you want someone like Edge Cooper to come in and knife in and make that 5-yard loss play. And they couldn't get that big negative splash play that really would have put this game out of reach.
Do you guys? I made this comment in the chat. I thought Green Bay looked fast on defense when in the first game.
Quay Walker stuck out to me earlier.
I mean, they're playing at a different level. It looked like they were off for a week, and they looked fresh, like fresh legs, right? And I said, well, this is what it's supposed to look like for the Packers. And it really did in the beginning of the game. And guys, the first half, man, they only had the ball 8 minutes.
Yeah. And 62 yards in the first half for the Bengals.
One first down.
It was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. I mean, 3 and out on the first drive, 5 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And then they had the 9-play drive where they missed the field, but missed a 67-yard field goal. Like, the defense was awesome to start the game.
Yeah. What Flacco did too, I thought it's pretty amazing to be in there for 3 days, really. Right. And to be able to run a 2-minute drill with your team. And the thing is, like,
they almost didn't get that off too, by the way, the field goal that they attempted at the end, like that was, I thought that could have been 0.
Yeah. But anyways, just for what he did, just the language, because the thing is, guys, everybody's got their own language, right?
Right.
They're all running the same stuff, but the language is different. And I know he's been around for 18 years, so he's probably heard all of it. But still, for him to go in there and to run it, pretty good. Actually, like I said, the first half, not so much. Second half, I thought that he started placing balls nice, and they started getting some drives, and he kept it going. But I tip my hat to the guy. That's hard to do.
Wait, guys, I'm just Ian Rappaport reporting the Cardinals trading for Joe Flacco now. Just kidding.
His 3rd time against his Packer defense. We're up against the clock here, but I'm curious from Peter's perspective here. It felt like, Peter, early in this game, a lot of things. I think I put it in the group chat. I was angry today in the group chat. I'm glad we're not making those public right now. But
he was angry.
I was angry. I don't know why. I've had such a great weekend. My favorite baseball team beat the one team I hate the most. Anyway, Peter, from the game plan perspective, I know we touched on it with Coach. Did it feel like LaFleur was calling a game in which he didn't trust offensive line? Because it felt like end arounds, a couple screens, a couple short throws, Zach Tom back, Aaron Banks back, Sean Ryan and Jordan Morgan, I think for the most part, were on a rotation. I think Jordan Morgan played fantastic today. But when you saw the beginning of the game and throughout the course of this game, did you get that sense, or am I a little bit crazy there?
I think you're overreacting a little bit.
I tend to do that.
Because remember, the second play of the game, they hit Dobbs for a big one on for 23 yards. Jordan Love runs on 3rd and 7. That's against man coverage. They're trying to get the ball down the field on 3rd and 7. They got pressure immediately and Love bails. And then, I felt like the next drive, same thing. They hit Golden for the catch and run over the middle.
Yeah.
And
broken ankle on his way down the field.
I one of the best yards after catch reps I've ever seen from him. He just doesn't get that many opportunities in those spots. But then I think the drive that stands out to you in your mind is that 3rd drive when it's 2 straight runs. After you get the field goal, you get the 3 and out, you get the stop, right? And you come out and it's 2 straight runs. You give up a pressure on a 3-man rush, Coach. That just can't. And they didn't even do anything special. They just brought 3. And Zach Tom just gets beat cold, right away. And so those are the moments that I think is really, really frustrating. I think there was another one later in the game where they ran 2 straight times, and it was just sort of like, what is happening? You mentioned the rotation though, and I want to stick on this for a second, even though I know we're against the clock.
Yeah, let's do it.
Jordan Morgan. It was a rotation early. I'm interested to see the numbers because I saw Sean Ryan out there for 1 or 2 series at most. I thought Jordan Morgan played well enough that I think he just took that job. I think he is just the starting right guard now. If Zach Tom is healthy and Rasheed Walker is healthy and Aaron Banks is healthy, I think he's going to be your right guard. And I think one of the reasons why we saw the run game really take off after the first couple drives is they put the rotation to bed and they said, we're going to run duo with Jordan Morgan down your throat. And that's what they did for the rest of the game.
That's why you get paid the big bucks, because that that makes a lot of sense, because that second half was fantastic from Josh Jacobs, who had 150 total yards today on the ground and obviously running the ball. Coach, did you have a final thought on Jordan Morgan?
No, I thought the offensive line played pretty darn good. I really do. I mean, they finally started taking the line of scrimmage. And the only time I saw them trying to get the ball on the perimeter, they're just doing it with jet sweeps, and they're doing it with like those quick screens. The only time that the ball got on the perimeter, what they made all their
and those are RPOs too. So like that's built into the play.
Yeah, but they ran between the tackles today, and they made Cincinnati like it. They really did. And Jacobs ran hard. He ran hard, and we started talking about like his legs and all that. But
that wasn't me in the group chat at all. Not me.
I think like Coach, I'm sure you've been around running backs like this, where in the first half it's 2 yards, it's 3 yards, it's 4 yards, and then in the second half they're just there. When everyone else is tired, they look spry, and that's Jacobs.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, we used to talk about is like just let's get a blade of grass, and when we were running an outside zone scheme, it was 3 yards, 4 yards, 8 yards, 12, 1 yard, 2 yards, but not many negative yardage plays. But yeah, the good ones get going later as the game goes on.
I know we're up against it, but I'm going to ask you another question here, Coach. Do you like the rotation at the offense? I find it. I get it.
The rotation. I
find it
for
weird
what?
For the offensive line.
No, I don't like doing that.
It's you'd rather, hey, this is my 5, barring injury. This is who's going to finish the game.
Packers.
I don't like it.
It has worked for the Packers, and that's it. No one else does it. No one else in the league is doing what the Packers are doing. But guess what? Rasheed Walker won the left tackle job over Yash Nyman in 2023. I'm yelling on Locked On Packers, going, "What? Yash is better. Why are we doing this with Rasheed Walker?" And guess what? Rasheed Walker ends up winning that job. And later in the season, they needed to do it because John Runyon Jr. was hurt. They rotated with Sean Ryan, and it gave Sean Ryan the reps he needed to then progress into last year, where he played solid. Like, it worked. And it has worked for the Packers. I can't explain it, but it has worked.
Yeah, I never liked doing it, Peter. Most
teams don't.
Because when you're down to your 6th, 7th, 8th guy, there's a reason that they are 6th, 7th, and 8th guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like when guys are playing together and you have like another guy comes in, it's just a different feel. It's just a different feel, like how you fit in the run, how we're going to pass off twists, all that type of thing. And like when you have a constant rotation on it, I don't think that there's consistency because of just different moving parts, right? Different pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah.
The Packers did secure their 3rd win of the season. When did this game change? At what point was this game won at Lambeau Field for the Packers? Our turning points coming up after this. Today's victorious Locked On Packers Squad show is brought to you by Supply House. When opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Plus, their Trademaster perks like priority shipping and dedicated support make the whole process even smoother. Join the free Trademaster program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHNFL. Once again, SHNFL5 for 5% off your first order. SHNFL5, get 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service, supplyhouse.com. Today's victorious Locked On Packers Squad show also brought to you by Mizzen and Main. You know the saying, look good, feel good. The problem is that most dress clothes only check one of those boxes. They look sharp but feel stiff, hot, and high maintenance. That's why Mizzen and Main comes in. They make classic menswear with performance fabrics, so it's effortless to look sharp and feel comfortable. They actually invented the performance fabric dress shirt over 10 years ago, and they've perfected it ever since. It's the feel of athletic wear, but the look of professional menswear. Right now, Mizzen and Main is offering our listeners 20% off your first purchase at mizzenandmain.com with promo code LOCKEDONNFL20. Once again, that promo code LOCKEDONNFL20. That's Mizzen, spelled Mizzen, and Main, promo code Locked On NFL for Locked On NFL 20 for 20% off. And if you'd rather shop in person, you can find Mizzen and Main in stores in select states. Once again, mizzenandmain.com. The Packers getting the 27-18 victory today at Lambeau Field. Here's a quick little trivia answer for you guys. The Packers have 3 wins this year. All 3 of those wins, they've scored 27 points. Week 1, week 2, and now here in week 6. Coach, let's begin with you. The turning point in this one. When, in your opinion, did this game flip for the Packers?
I tell you what I think is that they were starting to run the ball well, and then they hit Kraft. It was a play action pass, and they hit Kraft for a touchdown. And I thought that really flipped it because they had to answer the score that they had just gotten, right? And I thought that gave the Packers back the momentum. Not that they ever lost it, but I thought that was a turning point in the game. I tell you, I love Kraft. I think he's a fantastic.
He's an old school player, right, Coach?
Oh, man. I would have loved to have coached that kid. He's really good. I think I had Bubba Franks as a Pro Bowler. In my opinion, he's better than Bubba Franks. Does things a lot better.
I think he's much more Mark Chmura than Bubba Franks.
He runs better than Chewy.
Yeah.
Chewy didn't run great, but Chewy's great too. He's a good football player. But that was my turning point in the game, guys.
So the Packers responding with the Kraft touchdown, which I'm going to be honest with you on that play. Peter, we'll get to your turning point in a second. I didn't think he had any chance of scoring. I thought he was going to get wrapped up. I thought he was going to go out of bounds.
Oh, ye of little faith. That's Tucker Kraft, dude. Like one of the best plays in the NFL.
I'm happy. My team scored a touchdown, and he's on both of my fantasy teams.
The NFL is giving Tucker Kraft an opportunity to run after the catch. It is just like he is so elite at that. And I was trying to make this point on the squad show or on my live show because a lot of negative Nellies in the comments on YouTube, and I'm like, guys, they go up 10-0. And every time the Bengals tried to make it a 1-score game, they went down and scored again. And ultimately, this game ends as a 2-score game. That's what it was. They won this game. I wouldn't say comfortably, but they won this game by 2 scores. And so I go back and for me, the turning point, Brandon, is when they originally make it 2 scores. And I actually think what changed everything was on 3rd and 10, Jordan Love throws a dot to Matthew Golden up the left sideline into coverage, a perfect
bucket
throw, and they convert 3rd and 10. Think of the 2 plays on 3rd and 10, Jordan Love to Matthew Golden, both 30-plus yard plays, big explosive plays. That one, to me, that sets up the touchdown. But you convert there, and now it's 10-0. And look, I know it's 10-0 against Joe Flacco, and that I was already PTSD from just a couple of weeks ago, but that felt like enough to me. Once it was 10-0, I was like, okay, playing from ahead is how you want to play against Joe Flacco. I do think Jeff Hafley gets a little conservative, up 2 scores.
Yep.
But he cut that out. Like all of a sudden he's bringing these big blitzes and they're trying to create those negatives. They just haven't been able to quite get there yet. I think to me though, that was indicative of Jordan Love in this game. 3rd and 10, I'm just going to make a perfect throw and get this team going. And that's exactly what it did.
For me, it's out of the 3rd quarter where the Cincinnati Bengals, you guys, 17-play drive for the Bengals to begin the 3rd quarter, 78 yards. They would score a touchdown. That would make things 10-7. Green Bay still out front. Coach, a 10-14 drive for the Bengals. Peter said it, a death by 1,000 paper cuts. That's the example of that. But for me, the turning point, not obviously was that drive, but the Packers' response to that drive, right? You get punched in the face on a 17-play drive for the Packers defense, and you give up touchdown, and now it's a 3-score game. What do the Packers do, you guys? They respond 9 plays, 66 yards, mostly Josh Jacobs. I mean, just bulldozing his way, and that was maybe his most impressive touchdown run of the year. I got to pull up the how far of a 14-yard touchdown run for Jacobs, and maybe the quickest. It felt like for him. He had a different, spring in his step for that one. But that was my turning point because the game maybe not have won in that point. Yeah, they go up, 10 points again after that. But that was the response, right? The response is so important in games like this, especially, Coach, when you're a heavily favored team to win a game. The Packers were 14.5-point favorites in this game. For that Packers offense to see their defense get marched down the field in almost the entirety of the 3rd quarter and then respond with a 66-yard drive of their own, And then if you're the Bengals, you're looking at that and you're like, man, it just took us over 10 minutes to score 7 points, and the Packers did it in less than 5 minutes. And now we're back down 10 scores, and it automatically shifts that pressure. Not that there was a ton of pressure, I suppose, on the Bengals. I don't think anybody expected them to win this game, but if you're a competitor, there's always pressure on you. And then all of a sudden now you're like, man, now we just had a great 10-minute drive, and now we're down 10 points once again before you even, can count to 5, because that's exactly what the Packers did. It was a great response from Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs. And I'll give credit to Matt LaFleur on that drive as well. It was imperative that they got something going in that next drive, because man, if you're only up 10-7 and you have a 3 and out, or you have, got maybe a first down or two, and then you got to punt the ball again, that kind of swings thing momentum wise, speaking of, like allowing that team to kind of believe and get back into the swing of things in the game.
Yeah. To have a 17-play drive, guys, you have to just keep moving the chains, and you're not gaining a lot of yardage. You're not. I mean, that's why it took so much off the clock. You didn't see him like throwing it down the field, way down the field. It was just really short. Were you saying paper cuts there, Peter? Is that what you called it? Death by 1,000 of them?
Yeah.
But it was they were playing small ball, is what they call that. They didn't push the ball down the field, but they started getting the running game going. But that's a long drive. Do you know what they started at? What the yard line that was started at? For that 17-play drive.
It was a 78-yard drive.
Yeah,
so
22.
Yeah, 22.
What was it?
It was a 22 because it was the
kick coverage in this game. For all the things that we have to complain about, kick coverage in this game was very good. We haven't even mentioned the new kicker. Brandon McManus didn't even kick. They picked up a guy.
You got to save it. Don't spoil it yet.
All right.
Don't spoil it yet. Don't spoil it yet, Peter. I thought it was great too. It was the 22-yard line, because remember, to start things off, they had a decent return on the kickoff, the Bengals did, but it was called back for holding. So they started that on the 22-yard line, and that was big. I mean, it was a big point in the game for both teams, right? For Cincinnati to climb back into the game with that big drive, and then for the Packers to kind of erase any momentum that they may have snagged off of that drive. I thought was
Brandon. It won't go down as like a fourth quarter comeback or anything like that. But think about last week. We talked about this after the game, and I know we were everyone was disappointed about what happened. And but what was it? 4 either game tying or
5.
take the lead. Okay, so
5.
in the fourth quarter and overtime. In this game, every time the Bengals scored, the Packers come back and answer. Jordan Love can't play defense, right? Those are huge plays. Though that's being in control of the game. Okay, you want to come down, you get paid too. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, you guys are awesome. Cool. Here's Jordan Love coming right back at you. And it was a mix of everything, coach. It was Romeo Doubs on a slant route. It was Josh Jacobs on a check down. It was Matthew Golden over the middle. I mean, it was a little bit of everything to get it moving. And in the second half, they didn't even have to get that cute. That wasn't just like, hey, we're going to try and, trick them, dick them after the Bo Melton first play of the second half. Right? Look, Brandon and I did not love that one coming out when you have a 10-play drive and you come out and your play is, let's do this. Coach, I want to ask you this. I saved it. I was going to ask you in the group chat, and I was like, I'm going to save it for the show. Okay, you have a long drive against you. Yes. And now you want to dial up some stuff coming back. Yeah. You don't obviously you want to score every time you have the ball, but you really don't want to score too fast. So how do you manage hey, we really need to score here with, I don't want to have a 2-minute drive so that our defense comes right back on the field, even if we score.
Right. Well, you do have to answer, Peter. Absolutely. Right. You have to answer. You have to do that. You know what, guys? I have never again worried about the defense. It's the defense's job to get off the field.
Yeah. Okay. I love it.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Don't make me come over there, Peter.
Let them go at it.
I'm just telling you. I mean, it's not the offense's job to slow the game down. It's not. It's the defense's job to get their ass off the field. And that's their job, right? And it just be like, well, you guys are scoring too fast. No, we're not. You can't score fast enough. But I never worried about.
They should put that on a shirt. That was great.
What's that?
What you just said. There's no such thing as scoring too fast.
There's not. I mean, score as fast as you can, because what's the offense's job? Put up points.
Yep.
Defense's job is get their butts off the field. So the offense.
Yeah, you want to break. I mean, stop.
So Peter, I never bought into that. And I wasn't a defensive guy either.
Right.
But
by the way, as we're doing this, we're recording this obviously live Sunday night. The Lions just marched down the field, 14 plays, 70 yards, 9.5 minutes. They score a touchdown on a trick play on 4th down. David Montgomery throws a pass to Jared Goff that he almost drops, and they score anyway. That is just like peak Lions nonsense. I don't know what, like, I feel like the Cardinals devil magic has gone to the Lions somehow. Like they can't keep getting away with this. I'm sorry. I had to interject that because it's just, it is just nonsense. It is utter woke nonsense.
David Montgomery and getting fantasy points for a touchdown thrown.
Does he only get 3 or does he get 6?
I have no idea. I honestly don't know. And I think that's his second one of the year as well. So I should know this by now, but I'm not 100% sure, but it's points, Peter. I'll take it. Just like the Packers getting the win after their bye week. 27 they scored today. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals 27-18. Some good stuff there, some bad stuff that we talked about. What caught Coach's eye today with the win over at Lambeau Field? We take a seat in the classroom coming up after this. Today's victorious Locked On Packers post-game squad show is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you do not want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app, whether you're a casual fan or if you love diving into the stats. FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Go to the website right now. Visit FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app today and get started. Once again, put $5 down. If that first $5 bet hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets. Once again, that's FanDuel.com. We call this segment Coach's Classroom. Each week after the Packers game, I ask Coach, hey, what caught your attention? What did you see on the field today that you put down, that you wrote down, that you want to discuss, that you want to dive into? We call it Coach's Classroom. Coach Jags, take us to class. Class is in session. School's in session. What do you got for us today after the Packers beat the Bengals 27-18?
Well, I want to talk about the running game. Finally, we got that thing going. And the Packers are running a scheme or a play. It's called duo. And what duo means is double teams. Double teams. And the thing is, the back, whatever side he's going, and in particular on the touchdown that Jacobs had, all right, it is his aiming point is at the front side linebacker. That front side linebacker can't be right. Let me see. Hang on a second, guys. Let's see if I can get this.
As Coach looks for his pen and paper where he's drawing, Josh Jacobs today, great day, 150 total yards.
Can you guys see that or no?
Yeah.
No? You can.
You drew that in a hurry, Coach. Sheesh.
Okay.
Well,
Coach is trying to play. No idea what it says. I see a line through the middle.
Okay. So here's your double teams. Here's your double team.
Okay.
Here's your double team here. That's the double teams that you're getting. The back, his aiming point is the guy that's circled. All right. That's who he's looking at.
And that's a linebacker, correct?
That's a linebacker. So what happened today is this backer went to over the top of this tackle right here. That's why there was no A-gap player in this game. That's why he just walks scot-free. That linebacker misfit that run. And they kept running duo during the rest of the game. When they started going out, everything was downhill, right? But that's called a duo play, and it's very, very hard to fit. The linebacker can't be right. The linebacker stayed inside. It happened a couple of times today. Is Jacobs went back to the outside. So wherever that linebacker goes, he's wrong. And say that he just stays right there, you still have a double team on both sides of the center to make positive yardage.
You're good at it.
To Coach's point, Peter, I will interject here for a second.
I saw that too. Go ahead, because I'm curious what happened.
Well, so I was bemoaning the Lions, and I know that this is riveting television for everyone that has already seen it. But Jared Goff got called for an illegal motion. He was going forward at the snap when the play was called, which is why you don't have quarterbacks catch passes. He went in motion. They went into Wildcat, and they called a bubble screen for Jared Goff. And it worked, except
nobody show Matt LaFleur that play.
Except he was in illegal motion, and then I think they needed to get they thought they were going to get the play clock reset. It didn't, and they had to take a delay of game. And Jared Goff was pretty mad, and they kicked a field goal. So
Peter, to Coach's point, you had a tweet and you were like, man, Jordan Morgan, if that drive wasn't enough, like I quote tweeted you and I said that drive where Josh Jacobs, I think it was the one where he had the 14-yard run up the middle. Maybe it's another. He had a couple of touchdowns today. I'm not exactly sure, but he got to the second level. Jordan Morgan did, and that was part of what Coach's play was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, that when you see that right from this Packers offensive line, and you mentioned it, like they were able to get it going because of the offensive line, and obviously Jacobs looked a lot better. But when you see that, I mean, that's got to stick out to you. Like going forward, this is it. That's going to be the starting five. That's where we're going to start, building some continuity with. And if that gets the run game going, that opens up obviously everything else. Because up until, I know we had a great game in Dallas, but it wasn't efficient. Today was better. They've been kind of doing it without a running game. And to Coach's point, where he's taking us there in the classroom and breaking it down, that was a big point in the game, obviously, but it could be a bigger point going forward in the season.
If they can create movement like this regularly, like the Cincinnati front is not very good.
And Trey Henderson didn't go out.
Trey Henderson was out, but Trey Henderson doesn't play defensive tackle.
Correct.
Right? On that touchdown, it was I think they were the 3 or 4 yard line. Jordan Morgan and Ellen Jenkins combined to put TJ Slayton 3 yards deep in the end zone. And that's your best run defending player. So like in those circumstances, like you're moving big boy bodies. TJ Slayton's a big boy now, 330 pounds or thereabouts, and a good run defender by ESPN's run stop win rate last year, the number 1 run defending defensive tackle in the NFL. And Jordan Morgan had him on skates. So those are the plays. I went back and I watched, I wrote a piece for The Leap and went back and watched the
newsletter. All of you should be subscribed to. Fantastic.
Thank
you and Jason.
I don't know why I forgot to say that part of it, but I watched every Jordan Morgan rep and came away going, wow, he's actually much better in the run game right now than in the pass game, which is weird because you convert a tackle to guard and you assume, hey, the run game is going to take some time, but we know this guy can pass protect because he's got the feet to play left tackle. That has not been the case. But he played pretty well in pass protection in this game, albeit against a team that can't rush the passer. Now, luckily, they play next week against an Arizona Cardinals team that can't rush the passer. It's going to change when it's Cam Hayward and it's TJ Watt and it's those boys in Pittsburgh. So they're going to have to be ready for that. If Jordan Morgan's going to be out there, I assume he is if he's healthy. But it's going to, there are bigger litmus tests that await here. That being said, to your point, I think that he proved a lot in this game. I don't know that you can win or lose a roster, a starting spot in one game like this. But I think what the numbers will show us, Brandon, is that I think he's going to end up having played 70+% of snaps. Like they wanted him they wanted him to be the starter in this game. He played like the starter in this game. And so I don't know why he would go into anything, why he would go into next week as anything other than the starter.
Where do you think, Peter, is the best spot for Jordan? We've seen him in training camp at left tackle. We've seen him at left guard. We've seen him, I don't even know. He might have played right tackle. Obviously today he played right guard.
Played a little right tackle against the Browns before.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're right. Where do you think his best spot is? And obviously the Packers really will tell you they don't have, they want everybody to play every position, but where do you think he thrives the most in?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know.
I don't either. And that's why I was hoping you would have an answer.
I thought it was left guard him in Arizona, I thought he was a guard. But then he played, we talked about this on our show. He played really well in the preseason at left tackle. He thinks he's like, I'm most comfortable playing left tackle. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. And I like Anthony Belton. I think Anthony Belton can be a starting tackle in the NFL too. He's dealing with an ankle injury.
Yep.
So I'm fine letting him play right guard and growing into that. And then if they want to make some changes next season, fine. I think that's a reasonable thing to do. I think you probably feel like right now in this roster, there are 3 tackles you feel pretty good about playing after Rasheed Walker with Jordan Morgan, Zach Tom, and Anthony Belton. And I think Darian Kennard played well enough last week that you feel pretty good about that too. So the Packers are in the enviable position of being able to make this all work. But coach, like the in and out, no position group continuity matters more than offensive line.
There's no question.
I kind of don't care where he plays, as long as he gets a chance to play somewhere 2 or 3 weeks in a row so this team can develop some continuity. His best position is the position he plays consistently. I think that's the answer.
Yeah, and just a little bit of perspective on like who's out there. There's five O linemen out there, right? That's half your offense.
Yeah.
That's half your offense. Like when we go in there like to as a coach to get like contract, It's like, I'm coaching half the offense on all 5 of those guys, right? But that is such an important deal. There's some cohesion to that group. It's got to be. I don't subscribe to let's go ahead and rotations unless you just got guys hurt. Put guys where you think they're supposed to be and just leave them there and let them grow together.
Yeah, and I think the best part about this, and I know it's not, sunshine and rainbows, but the Packers are 3-1-1, and they haven't had consistency from their offensive line. There's still things to be positive about. I know fans, certainly in the live chat, I know myself, this is a message to my future self, that it hasn't
current self.
Current self. It hasn't been pretty, but you haven't been healthy. There's been a lot of moving parts, and you're 3-1-1. And outside of Tampa Bay, I don't know if anybody in the NFC really, really scares you. So, and again, at the end of this,
3-1-1 just feels so much better than 2-1-1. Like 2-1-1 felt kind of weird, but 3-1-1.
Now you have a little bit of it's a little bit more separation, right? Yeah. It's a little bit more separation from that one.
3-1-1 feels pretty good.
At the end of the season, they all count the same. As coach says, you don't get any style points. And the Packers do get a much needed win out of their bye week, a 27-18 win. It wouldn't be a Locked On Packers squad show if we didn't hand out some game balls. That's coming up right after this. Today's victorious Locked On Packers squad show is brought to you by Mazda's moving the game forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than just put points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep moving the game forward. This week's moment that moved the game forward is Packers rookie Matthew Golden, 3rd and 8, 2:32 left in the game. A 31-yard completion to the rookie put the Packers in field goal range. They would take a few minutes off the clock from there, and they would sink a field goal, go up by 9, and they would hold on for the victory. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. You heard me mention Matthew Golden today, a big day for the rookie. 3 receptions, 86 yards. Jordan Love had a good day under center. The Packers defense still looking for another turnover. Didn't force one today. Peter, let's begin with you. 27-18. You mentioned it. 3-1-1. Definitely sounds a lot better. Definitely feels better after a win. The first win, and I think are we over a month? Is it about a month? Yeah, roughly, yeah. Right? Since the Packers were last in the win column. Who are you handing out a game ball today after the victory?
I'm going to give the game ball to Jordan Love. In this one, I mentioned he controlled the game. I felt like, there was the one play where, he should have thrown the ball out of bounds. There was the Luke Musgrave miss in the middle of the field. But other than that, he made every throw he needed to make, every run that he needed to make. He controlled the game here. They averaged almost 0.5 EPA on early down passes. That is a crazy efficient number. Even with the interception, his numbers look incredible. So, yep. This is someone who right now I think is still squarely in that MVP conversation, probably on the fringes of it right now. Baker Mayfield, probably the front runner right now, especially after the Cowboys lost. But it's a good reminder, Coach. And I think this week was a good reminder. The Cowboys went to Carolina as favorites and lost. There are no gimmies in this league. The Chargers were expected to handle Miami. The Broncos were expected to handle the Jets. They won those games by 4 combined points. This is the NFL. This is not college football. Every win is a good win.
There's no doubt. And, by the end of the season, they were like, well, that was really a bad win for us. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, we won the game and just moving on. Because, hey, they're going to move on from this game really, really quick to get to Arizona. My game ball is going to Josh Jacobs. Finally got the run game going. 23 touches today. He had 93 on the ground, 5.2. So every 2 times he had the ball, it's a first down. Here's one that's really impressive. 5 catches, 57 yards, 11.4. Every time he was throwing a pass today, it was a first down on average.
Pretty good.
That's pretty darn good. And I was glad to see him run like I thought he could. Another two touchdowns again. The guy's a touchdown machine down there. He runs really hard, especially in the red zone. But that's my guy today.
My game ball today, you could easily go with Jordan Love. I thought he was fantastic. I've been pounding my fist on the desk that I want the offense to flow through number 10. I know Josh Jacobs, to your point, Coach, had a fantastic day as well. He was the turning point for me with that 14-yard touchdown run after that really long Cincinnati Bengals 10-minute drive out of the second half. But for me, it's Lucas Havrisik. And I guess we still don't know what happened to McManus. I know it's a quad injury. I know he hurt it in that Dallas game, but he said that it wasn't from that tackle that he made in overtime, or at least at the end of regulation. I forgot exactly when the tackle was made.
LaFleur said it happened in practice.
He said it happened in practice. So you don't have McManus this week. I don't know if many Packers fans, including myself, have heard of Lucas Havrisik. I know they signed him late in the week, I believe on Saturday. But all he did today was come in and perform. I thought everything. Listen, we talk a lot about the special teams. We talk a lot about the issues on special teams. It's not perfect. I understand that. I think I texted in the group chat, all starters for the offensive line were on field goal protection today for the Green Bay Packers. But he came in and he did exactly what he had to do. Now, is that, tongue in cheek a little bit because they just haven't been able to do that? Maybe, but for him to come in and he hit a couple of big field goals, guys, right? That one in the fourth quarter where, less than 2 minutes and you got to get it. And it was a 41-yarder for Havrisik, but he came in, probably doesn't know half the team by name, and came in to Lambeau Field today. And I thought he performed wonderfully for this team and did exactly what they needed him to do. We'll see what it means going forward for McManus.
By the way, had not kicked in an NFL game since 2023.
Correct.
But kicked in Green Bay in 2023 in that 20-3 win that the Packers had against the Rams. Had missed hit a 50+ yarder, hit a 52-yarder, but then missed one as well. So, someone who had kicked at Lambeau before, but had not kicked in an NFL game, Jags, in over a year.
Yeah. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm so impressed with kickers all over college, pro. 67-yarder today.
And he made the first one.
I know he did. Holy cow, guys. 67 yards. You never even thought of that before, right?
No.
Even like a couple years ago, people don't kick like that. I think that's one of the biggest changes in football right now is the kicking game, especially the length of field goals.
60 does not seem long anymore. And 70. What we had a kid in the preseason kick a 70-yarder, didn't we?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? But you imagine, because you have to drive it from that far out, right? Because you got to get it up over top of the defensive lineman. And so you still got to get height on it. But, God, just the geometry of it, it's incredible what you have to do.
Yeah, I know special teams obviously won't be talked a lot about today because, obviously, this week because nothing really drastic happened. But it's always good news, right, when you don't have to talk about the special teams unit. But I thought it was a good bounce out of the bye week for Rich Bisaccia, who's certainly under the spotlight. Peter, real quick before we wrap things up, Matthew Golden was returning punts. Then it was Romeo Doubs today. I don't know. I guess I don't know if we'll ever get an answer. I don't know if the answer is ever going to really matter. I just don't get what they're trying to do when it comes to that, because I don't know, Coach. And again, this is open for discussion. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't want Romeo Doubs right now is your best receiver, has been your best receiver all year. I don't want him back there. I just do. I know
there was a year, Brandon, in like the mid 2010s where it felt like the Packers punt returner's job was to fair catch the ball. Like his only job was to be out there to catch the ball. And I think that may be where this team is right now, because they just don't have, we had Justice Mosqueda on the show talk about this. They don't have a receiver body that fits the normal punt returner body. And so Romeo Doubs moves, I think, the closest like that. He's got that herky jerky style and some, quick twitch explosiveness, but they're not going to they don't really even have a running back that kind of moves like that, Coach. Like I remember David Palmer back in the day for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
He was, kind of
caught
built
a big
like
touchdown.
a running back.
2003.
And so, like those kind of bodies are also not on the team. Keyshawn Nixon is kind of the closest thing. And they, for whatever reason, don't want him back there. Look, I've compared special teams often to plumbing and plumbers. You only need them when something really bad has happened. And you only think about them when something really bad has happened. And so, nothing really bad happened. And I thought the coverage team played well today. The kicking, Havrisik put the ball, to your point, Brandon, the game ball, put the ball, it was kind of coffin corner into the corner at the 2-yard line where the guy's got to field it. but then you're kind of stuck on where you can do it. It was really expertly done, I thought, and they were able to get some drives. You mentioned that 78-yarder. Well, that happens because it's the 22-yard line. Drives are not starting at the 22-yard line, guys. The Packers started plus 30 every single time, I'm pretty sure, at least on the kickoffs. And that's because Bo Melton had a nice long one, and Savion Williams averaged over 30 yards a return in this game. So that is certainly a step in the right direction. All your starters are playing on field goal block. And so now our field goal, I suppose, are blocking on field goal. And then you're getting something out of the return game and you're plus on the kicking coverage game. That's where you need to be moving forward.
If the game's on the line, guys, okay, Brandon, Peter, game's on the line, and it has to be in who is that guy that's going to make that play or the return? Who's that guy
right now?
Yep.
I think for the Packers, it's Dobbs, but
that's right.
Okay.
I want to say Golden, but he spams the circle button. He scared me in Dallas.
I don't think it can be Golden. I think it has to be Dobbs or Nixon. It's got to be one of those two guys. Didn't Nixon field one 2 weeks ago?
He did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's been like a different. There's not been a whole lot. I guess the most consistent thing is it's been inconsistent as far as who's back there fielding the punts. And Coach, to your point, you said you don't like subbing out and rotating offensive line. What about that position, right? Like, what about the special teams? Because if you got a different guy back there every time, does that change,
I don't know, because the blocking up front doesn't change.
So that mission stays the same no matter who's back there.
As a punt returner, yeah.
Well, guys, before we sign off, I don't want to get through this whole show and not mention that Matt LaFleur said Lucas Van Ness is going to have an MRI on his foot. Yeah. He left the game in the second half. Is not expected to be broken, but that's not the same as he's fine, right? Like he got carted off the field. I would think we're talking about a sprain, something like that. And who knows, right? With foot issues. So you hope that that's a short-term thing with him. But I wanted to make sure that we got that in there. The Packers front did not play the way that you expected them to in this game in the second half. Losing Lucas Van Ness is a big part of that. He got that big sack. And that was a huge play. He's made some huge plays in this season. You need him if you're going to compete at the highest level with this defense.
Good point. Great point. As always, Peter, the Packers in Arizona next week. They'll also have a matchup with the Steelers on the road and Carolina before that Monday night showdown with the Philadelphia Eagles. Friendly reminder, the Locked On Packers squad show and daily show free and available wherever you guys get audio podcasts, as well as over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell. Get notified when we go live. For my guy, Peter Bukowski, for Coach Jags and myself, we will sign off for now. We'll be back later on this week. We'll preview that Arizona matchup. We'll see exactly if we get any news for McManus, maybe for LVN. But as always, thanks to each and every one of you guys for tuning in. Thank you for making Locked On Packers part of your day each and every day. And win, lose, or draw, always stay Locked On Packers. Have a good one. See you.